Hi, Sandra here, the Misophonia therapist, and today's video is inspired by a post that I saw on a social media platform. I'm not going to say which one, and it was a very upset person, a woman who said that she had told her partner, or rather asked him nicely, to stop chewing gum, and he flipped out completely, spat the gum out, told her to F off. And this was not something that he would usually do. And she was obviously very upset about this. And yeah, I mean, I really felt for her. I'm pretty sure that anybody who has misophonia and they live with somebody who sometimes slips into those habits of chewing gum around us will know exactly how she feels. So I thought I would just pop on and offer some tips for anybody who feels that their spouse, partner, significant other is just, I don't know, just losing patience or becoming more frustrated with your condition and maybe isn't responding in a loving, helpful way when you ask them to stop making the noise. And it's pretty easy to jump to conclusions and just assume that they just don't care anymore, or maybe they don't love you anymore, the sorts of things that we naturally might start to worry about. And it might just feel that you are treading on eggshells, or rather they feel that they are treading on eggshells. And sometimes it's not uncommon for our partners to suddenly point out to us that they too have a right to eat, to breathe, to play loud music, to snore, or whatever. And yes, of course, we know that misophonia is not a logical problem. So you know logically that, of course, they have a right to breathe, to eat, to chew, or whatever, but it doesn't make any difference to the autonomous rage response we get in our nervous systems when we are triggered. And it's tempting to make assumptions about what might be going on when your significant other behaves in this way. And the only way really to address this situation is to be brave and have a conversation with them, because, and this leads me to the tips that I'm going to give. So tip number one is, again, remembering that our emotions are not rational, and they can cause us to fixate on something that is an easy target. So if your spouse or partner is reacting to you differently, maybe they are just using your misophonia as an excuse. They're targeting the misophonia when maybe there's something else going on beneath the surface that just needs to be addressed. So what could the real problem be? So tip number two is to talk openly and honestly when you are both calm and there are no distractions. And it might help if you can perhaps plan what you're going to say. It's never easy addressing a problem in a relationship or asking somebody whether they're happy or whether there's something wrong. It can, of course, be very scary, and you do not want to open up a can of worms. But in order to find out what might be really going on, what might be really bothering your significant other, you are going to need to be able to communicate. And number three, when you do finally get round to having that conversation, just listen. Just listen. Don't jump in and defend yourself or put forward your own point of view until you've really heard them, hear them. What have they got to say? Maybe it's something as simple as being stressed out at work. Maybe they are worried that they are no longer a priority in your life. Maybe if you've got kids or animals, a dog, perhaps they feel that they are playing second fiddle. Maybe there are money concerns or concerns about your children if you have children. It could be anything at all, and you are not going to know until you ask them and calmly listen. And number 4, negotiate. So once you've aired everything out calmly as possible, see if you can find a way together to adapt or fix whatever the problem was. It might be just that you need to have a bit more fun and laughter, do fun things together. Maybe that don't involve the potential for you to get triggered. Sometimes it can be just the ticket to have that conversation, that honest, open conversation, figure out what's bothering them, and then work together to address your concerns. And also look at yourself too. As I said before, that if we are stressed or tired, that is often when we are more likely to notice the triggers more. So if you have stresses in your life, maybe take a look at what you can do about those to try to reduce the likelihood of you being triggered. And I hope that's helpful. And I'll be back tomorrow with more content.